Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about studying abroad from the inception to flying out to one of the countries. We are going to be talking about what are the steps you have to take and how you can do that better. Now, if you're watching my videos for the first time, I'll give you a quick introduction of me. My name is Parth Vijayvergiya. I was a graduate student at Purdue University. I did my undergrad from university in Thailand as well. So I have my fair share of experience of studying abroad. I forgot, I did an exchange semester in Sweden as well. And that's why I wanted to go to Europe. So while starting my master's journey abroad, I was also thinking to go to Europe and thinking to go to the US. I did apply to some universities in Europe. I got into 5 universities in US and 3 universities in Europe. I chose the US because of many reasons. Paycheck would be one, salary, and then you know having the opportunities in different fields such as construction. My wife is an optical scientist. Having that in the US is much common than it is in Europe. And over the last 5 years, I've helped thousands of students getting to the US and helping them out in their study abroad journey. I've talked to them about statement of purpose, letter of recommendations, and I've also talked to them about visa and financing. So the channel has a lot of these videos. If you want to refer to anything, please feel free to do that. I am sure it's going to be super helpful for you. Let's go into the first step, right? Let's start with the step one, thinking about studying abroad. You might be stuck in a job. You might feel like, hey, this is the epitome of my career. This is what I'll see. Maybe every year you're not getting as much money raise, or you want to transform life. You want to upskill. You want to see what is your potential. And that's why you see all these people on Instagram, on YouTube, on social media, they're going abroad, and you think like, how does this person is in the US right now or is in Canada right now? So studying abroad is definitely not hard, but you have to start thinking about it in terms of like, first of all, which country I want to go to. Do I want to go to Canada? Do I want to go to Australia or UK? Any of the countries you pick, your consultant, which you might or might not go to, I really don't recommend people to go to a consultant because the process is pretty straightforward. If you're going for a master's, if you're going for an MBA, it's a different scenario, but for masters it's pretty straightforward. If you're going to a consultant, they will just throw you into any of the countries you want to. My recommendation to you is think about hey, what are the pros and cons? If I want to go to Canada or if I want to go to UK, Canada is great for PR, right? But it's cold. The weather is really cold there. UK might not be great for PR, or might be great for PR, but the job opportunities might be less. Australia is amazing, but it's far from India. US is great, but the visa system is broken, and we'll talk about it in some other video, but the visa system might be broken for you. But if you want to make quick money, come back in 3-4 years, US is the perfect country because US universities the universities US has is the amongst the top in the world. As you guys know, MIT, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Purdue, Texas A&M, UT Austin, these universities are so renowned and everybody knows about it, and that's the beauty. You go find a job, they will hire you because okay, you are from a US university. Now, I am not the smartest guy to talk about these other countries, but I can talk a lot about the United States, so let's just get into it. Second would be taking steps towards studying abroad, right? You take a paper, you write down, hey, this is my undergrad degree. What kind of master's degree do I want to do? Maybe you want to switch fields. Are you making a career change? You were software engineer before and you want to get into product management now. Or you were a mechanical engineer before, now you want to go to software engineering. What you really want? You might have a family. For family people, maybe Canada is a better option because PR options are much quicker as compared to the US. If you're a single man, if you're young, and if your parents are fearful about gun control and laws in the US, then maybe Canada is a fair or safe option to satisfy their feeling as well that hey, we are sending our kids to a safer country. So you have to think about all of these points. Now, think about the factors that hey, do I have experience? Do I have enough experience in my career to go to the US? Or sometimes I get these questions as well that, hey, I am 32 years old. Is this the right time for masters? I keep telling them that there is like no right or wrong time for masters. It's always the kind of right time. I've seen people with no experience at all, with no internships getting into jobs. They struggled their way through it, but they did get a job. Now that's the beauty for it. A lot of people think that, hey, if I'm in a certain industry, I do need 2 3 internships before going to my masters. Your internships are also counted as job experience. So if you're thinking I want 2 years of experience after my graduation, don't wait for it. Some of the branches like software engineering, right, software developer, they want fresh students. So you might not even need any kind of job experience. If you have internships, that will be counted as job experience. So think about all of these steps. Think about the factors that, hey, do I want to come back to the US, or do I want to come back to India? What's my budget like? Do I have 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs? Can I take a loan? Think about all of these things. Number 3, understanding US admissions. US admissions is very different than what we have learned in Asia, in India, how we have given our test. In our country, IITs, NITs, everything is, you take a paper, you rank a certain, you get a certain score, you're ranked based on that score, and that's how you'll get admissions into any of the universities. Same happens during masters. If you have to apply for GATE and get a good rank in that. Same happens for IITs and NITs. So our mindset is very, very focused on marks and getting good at academics. US universities approach your application in a holistic way. What does holistic means? They look at all of the factors which makes you a human, which makes you the student they are going to admit into their university. So let's say my friend, let's call him Amit, right? My friend Amit, he has work experience. He has a decent academic like GPA. He has some research papers as well. He has some extracurricular activities like volunteering experience. Something might be in sports. They're going to look at all of these things. While they are looking at all of these things, there are some things which US universities look like statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, which we will talk about. So US universities look at all of these things and then decide that they want to take you in or not. There's a lot of like stigma and there's a lot of myth about US admissions that they look at GRE and TOEFL and that's how they get admissions. That is not true. They are looking at you as a person and not as a quantitative number. It's a very qualitative approach which US universities takes, and that's the beauty of the admissions here. Number 4th point, understanding the exams related to US universities, right? Number 1 exam which is really famous is GRE or GMAT. I'll talk about GRE more because the more audience is about engineering schools and not as many of you are going for MBA. So GRE stands for Graduate Record Examination. It's an English and math test. English is much more difficult for us than math is. Math is really easy. When it comes to GMAT, English is same as GRE, but math is more difficult as compared to GRE. Now, I've made some videos. I'm going to leave that link in description. It's from a person who scored 340 plus. And, a lot of people take GRE and sometimes they score 306, but they still end up in the best universities. For example, I scored 313 on my GRE. I got into Purdue on basis of my letter of recommendation, my statement of purpose, and other few things which I had on my CV, which I submitted while I was doing the applications. If they were just going based on my GRE score, I wouldn't be here. Now, when like one great thing which is going on, which COVID made it happen, is that a lot of universities has waived off GRE completely. They think it's absurd as well. So a bunch of computer science programs have waived off GRE completely. So if you're going for a computer science program, there's a very high chance that you don't even have to take GRE. My recommendation is go to university pages and check it for yourself if your university and program does require GRE or doesn't require GRE. Second would be TOEFL or IELTS. TOEFL and IELTS both are English exams. TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language and IELTS stands for International English Language Test System. TOEFL is predominantly famous in the US, but if you're planning for Canada and Australia as well, IELTS would be a great option for you. Both of these are English exams, they're really easy. You might see people like, hey, I've scored 100 plus out of 120 within a day of studying. It's that kind of easy. You just have to be more vigilant, and plus, when you prepare for GRE, you automatically kind of prepare for TOEFL. Um, TOEFL has 4 sections: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and you answer those questions. It's again a very, very dumb test because they are making sure that you are capable enough in English to learn and understand what they're going to teach you at the university. That's what TOEFL does. And this is a thing which has been going on for a while. We, like Indians, because of our bullshit British rule, like one good thing is that we have been taught English since our kindergarten, and we can speak really well, listen really well. We watch a lot of movies, we understand all the accents. So this is a piece of cake for everyone. Number 5 is shortlisting universities. What happens is when you start looking into US admissions, you see that, hey, I want to come to the US, but I don't know which universities I want to apply for. And this is one of the biggest problem I see in students, that they don't know which universities to apply for. What happens is a lot of students go to consultants, and the consultants give them a list of universities. These list of universities, usually they have some tie-ups with those universities, and they might not give you the most ideal list, like according to your profile. What they do is, let's say you can get into top 5 universities, but they'll give you university list of rank 8 to 15. Why? Because they want to show that you have gotten into most of the universities because you went through consultancy with them. I feel really bullish about it. My thing is that, hey, you need to apply for 3 kind of universities. You need to apply for ambitious universities where you think there's a very little chance, but you think that there's a hope that you'll get into it. There is moderate universities where you know that you will get into it. There's over 80% chance, and there are over 75% chance. And then there are safe universities where there's over 90% chance of getting in. Shortlisting universities happens if you go to QS World Ranking, US News Ranking, Times Higher Education Ranking. You look at the universities which are applicable to your course, and then see what the program looks like. What are the courses they are teaching? If you have already worked, you might already know that, hey, these are the courses more relevant to me, and that's why I want to go to these universities. Now, shortlisting in university is always a gamble. I feel like I call it a gamble. I call it a roll of dice. You have a certain amount of chances that you'll get into all of the universities you apply for, but it is possible to get into all of them, and it is possible also not to get into any of them. I've seen cases people have applied to 10 universities and they have gotten into 1. This is not to demotivate, but to tell you the reality of it. You apply to some of the safe universities, and you applied for some of the ambitious ones that, hey, I want to go to this universities. Great way of shortlisting is going to admits.fyi. I'm going to leave that link in the description as well. And I've made a video about shortlisting universities, which is very relevant still. You can check that out. Now, once you shortlist your universities, your next step is that you prepare yourself for application. So let's talk about statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is a document which you write. It's a 1 or 2 page document. There's usually word limits by the university. You write that document, you tell them that, hey, this is me, this is what I like, this is what I've done until now. It's like a biodata, but in a descriptive form. You send that to the university, and the university reads it. I know for a fact that statement of purpose is very crucial. Why? Because statement of purpose makes a whole lot of difference. It's that one love letter you're writing to the admissions committee that will make the whole difference. Maybe your GPA was bad. You can explain it in statement of purpose. Maybe you really like something and that's why you're doing the masters. That's what you write in statement of purpose. So statement of purpose is one of the most crucial things. Another point is letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendations is what you get from other people, like your professors, managers. They recommend you that, hey, this person's great, he's humble, caring, and he's really good into a certain field. You get that letter of recommendation from your professors and managers if you have worked, and you submit it into application. Next comes the application itself. You submit the statement of purpose, you submit the letter of recommendation, you send your TOEFL scores, you put in all of your information, your father's name, mother's name, passport number, this number, that number, your financial status, what's your father's salary, all of these things they take. Plus, if you are somebody who cannot afford application fees, because application fees is usually $100, you can reach out to the admissions committee of that university and tell them that, hey, my financial status is not really well, I still want to apply to your school. They'll give you a waiver code, and that will eradicate the fees for you. So that $100 which you'll have to pay for application, that you will not have to pay anymore. So that's a good thing, because accessibility is a very big thing in US universities, and they want it to be accessible for everyone to apply. Now comes the waiting. You have finished your applications, you have written your statement of purpose, you have given all your exams. You wait for that admission to come in. And this is the worst part, because this happens like, let's say the admission cycle, or most of the deadlines for the universities are in December. You wait now. All you have to do is wait for 2-3 months when the admissions come in. There are two types of admissions, where one is rolling admission and one is like after the deadline. So rolling admission is when the university applications, or when the university reviews your application as they go when you're applying, and they keep rolling out admissions. Like sometimes people get admissions as quickly as in December, in 2-3 weeks, in 4 weeks. Sometimes when the deadline admission kind of thing is going on, they release all of the admission things after that deadline. So let's say the deadline for all the applications is 28th April, they're going to take, or it's 28th of December, they're going to take a month and a half to review all the applications at once and then admit the students. A bunch of universities release all these admissions at once, and then you can see it on WhatsApp and Facebook groups, seeing all these admissions coming up. Number 10 is the post-admission process. What do you have to do? Because what happens is, like, we think that, hey, we got the admission, now we can relax. Kind of happens in a contrary way, because you are not really relaxed. You have to, first of all, get your financial documents, get a loan, education loan. If you are funding yourself, that's amazing. You show the proof of funds to get your I-20. I-20 is a document which comes from the university, which says that, hey, these are your course details, and you can show that to the visa offices to get your visa appointment, like to the embassy to get your visa appointment. The second big thing after loan, funding, I-20, the second big thing is the visa itself. This is the, like, I feel like people hype it so much. They hype it so much because they feel like, I've gotten the admission now. The only thing which is stopping me from getting into the US is this visa guy. And if you don't get your visa, you can apply again, but the chances of you getting a visa again and again reduces. So that's why US visa is so hyped upon, and to get it is so difficult. Once you do the visa, you book your tickets, you pack your bags, and then you're ready to go. Now this is what your timeline is going to look like, that, hey, if you're applying for your master's, these are the steps you have to take. I'm going to make another video about when to do what, so that your timeline is very ideal and you're very relaxed, and you know when to engage in what activity in terms of student application, so that you don't miss any of the deadlines and you're sorted as soon as you fly here. So once you pack, once you have your visa, you have your ticket, you just have to fly out and come here and open Pandora's box. There's so much going on here, and you'll learn so much things, and your parents will not recognize you once you finish your master's degree, because there's just like so many changes they'll see in you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one. I hope this was useful. Please comment down below any questions you have. I'll be happy to answer those. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. All the links are in description. Sayonara.